Moving to Bangalore for my first job after university was a significant turning point. Having lived in Delhi my whole life, this relocation in 2022, right after graduating with my engineering degree, was a major change. I had accepted a job offer from a well known IT company, and the prospect of starting my career in a new city was both exciting and daunting. Bangalore, known as the Silicon Valley of India, attracted me with its opportunities in technology and innovation. I was eager to work with cutting edge technology, learn from experienced professionals, and contribute to a dynamic industry. It was a chance to kickstart my career in an environment that fostered creativity and ambition. My experience in Bangalore was a mix of exhilaration and challenges. Initially, I felt overwhelmed by the unfamiliar surroundings and fast paced lifestyle. The city was much larger and busier than Delhi, requiring time to adjust. I missed my family and friends, and building a new social circle took effort. Gradually, I started feeling more at home. I made new friends at work and explored the city's vibrant cultural offerings. Bangalore has amazing food, beautiful parks, and a lively music scene. I discovered new interests like hiking and rock climbing, and even started learning Kannada, the local language. Overall, moving to Bangalore was a positive experience. It was a time of personal and professional growth. I learned to be independent, adapt to new situations, and appreciate different cultures. It broadened my horizons and helped me develop a stronger sense of self. While I still miss Delhi sometimes, I'm grateful for the experiences I had in Bangalore.
I attended a valuable workshop on effective communication skills to enhance this crucial life skill. Advertised online, it was hosted by a local training institute. The workshop covered a wide range of skills, from verbal and nonverbal communication to active listening and presentations. It explored interpersonal dynamics, focusing on building rapport, navigating difficult conversations, and adapting to diverse contexts. Interactive methods like role playing and group discussions made the learning engaging and practical. The Institute provided an ideal learning environment. The venue was accessible and well equipped. Spacious training rooms and readily available materials, including online resources, enhanced the experience. The professional yet friendly atmosphere fostered interaction. The small group size ensured personalized attention and deeper discussions. My motivations were threefold. Firstly, I believe effective communication is essential for success. Secondly, I sought structured training to refine my skills, especially in public speaking. Thirdly, the workshop's comprehensive curriculum and interactive approach appealed to me. The workshop exceeded expectations. The facilitators were knowledgeable and explained complex ideas simply. The interactive format allowed practical application and feedback. I gained insights into body language, tone, active listening, and persuasive speaking, along with strategies for challenging conversations. Beyond specific skills, the workshop significantly boosted my confidence. The supportive environment encouraged participation. Constructive feedback motivated continued improvement. I left feeling more confident and equipped to apply these skills. It provided valuable tools for stronger relationships and achieving goals. It was a worthwhile investment, and I highly recommend it to anyone seeking to improve communication.
When I think of someone with exceptional leadership qualities, my older sister immediately comes to mind. She's been a constant source of inspiration throughout my life, and I've learned a great deal from observing her over the years. Being 5 years my senior, she's guided and supported me through various experiences, demonstrating remarkable leadership along the way. Her leadership qualities manifest in diverse aspects of her life. During our school years, she naturally assumed leadership roles, captaining sports teams, organizing events, and motivating classmates. Now, as a working professional, she leads her team with confidence and inspires them to excel. She's also actively involved in community initiatives where she takes charge of projects and encourages others to contribute. What truly distinguishes her leadership is her ability to foster a sense of unity and shared purpose. She doesn't impose her will or dictate. Instead, she actively listens to everyone's perspectives, encourages collaboration, and empowers individuals to contribute their unique talents. She is skilled at resolving conflicts, finding solutions that benefit everyone involved. Furthermore, she leads by example, consistently demonstrating a strong work ethic and a willingness to go above and beyond. I deeply admire her leadership style. She's not just a leader in title, but a genuine inspiration to those around her. She's instilled in me the importance of teamwork, effective communication, and empathy in leadership. I feel fortunate to have her as my sister and to have the opportunity to learn from her exceptional example. She's a testament to the power of positive leadership and its ability to create positive change.
I recently visited a captivating exhibition at the National Museum of Indian Cinema in Mumbai, celebrating the rich history of Bollywood. As a lifelong Bollywood fan, I was eager to explore the evolution of Indian filmmaking. Mumbai, the heart of the industry, was the ideal location. The exhibition was a treasure trove of film memorabilia. Vintage posters of iconic films and stars lined the walls, showcasing changing styles. Antique cameras and equipment highlighted technological advancements. Costumes worn by legendary actors sparked nostalgia, reminding me of beloved characters. Interactive exhibits provided insights into special effects and filmmaking techniques, making the experience educational. Classic film screenings allowed visitors to appreciate the artistry of earlier eras. It was like stepping back in time. My fascination with Bollywood motivated me to visit. Growing up watching Indian films, I've always been curious about their history and creators. I wanted to deepen my understanding and appreciate the contributions of everyone involved. It also seemed like a fun outing with friends. The exhibition was memorable, it was informative, and I learned much about Indian cinema's evolution. Seeing historical artifacts and learning about early filmmakers' challenges and triumphs was inspiring, giving me new respect for the dedication behind every film. I felt nostalgic seeing glimpses of old movies I watched as a child, realizing cinema's powerful cultural influence. The exhibition was both educational and entertaining, and I highly recommend it to anyone interested in film, history, or Indian culture. It was a wonderful way to connect with the magic and legacy of Indian cinema.
I recall a time when I had to exercise considerable restraint and remain silent. It was during a surprise birthday party that my parents had meticulously planned for my younger brother. We were at home, and the entire house was adorned with colorful balloons and festive streamers, creating an atmosphere of anticipation. My parents had invited all his close friends, and the excitement was palpable. The challenge was that my brother was completely unaware of the impending surprise. It was rather amusing to watch him go about his day, oblivious to the elaborate preparations taking place around him. I, however, was privy to the secret, which meant I had to be extra cautious not to let anything slip. I had to maintain a poker face and refrain from revealing any hints, even when he complained about being bored and having nothing to do. It required a great deal of self control to keep the secret under wraps. The reason for my silence was simple. I didn't want to spoil the surprise. My parents had invested a lot of time and effort into planning this special celebration, and they wanted it to be a truly memorable experience for my brother. I knew he would be overjoyed, and I didn't want to inadvertently ruin the moment by letting the cat out of the bag. Maintaining silence was a challenging feat, especially since I tend to be quite talkative. I had to bite my tongue on several occasions and come up with creative excuses to avoid conversations that might lead to the surprise being revealed. However, it was also an exciting experience. Being part of the secret and witnessing the joy on my brother's face when he finally discovered the surprise was incredibly rewarding. It was a memorable experience that taught me the value of patience, the importance of keeping confidences, and the joy of being part of something special.
I can teach basic cooking skills, something I believe is essential for everyone. It's not about becoming a chef, but about being able to prepare simple, healthy meals for yourself. I learned to cook gradually, starting with helping my mother in the kitchen. She taught me the basics: how to chop vegetables, use spices, and follow recipes. Over time, I experimented with different dishes and learned from my mistakes. I also watched cooking shows and read cookbooks to expand my culinary knowledge. It was a process of learning by doing, and I'm still learning new things even today. To teach cooking, I would use a hands on approach. I believe the best way to learn is by doing. I would start with the fundamentals, like kitchen safety and basic knife skills. Then, I would teach them a few simple recipes, focusing on healthy and affordable ingredients. I would demonstrate each step clearly and then have them try it themselves, providing guidance and feedback along the way. I would also encourage them to experiment with flavors and adapt recipes to their own tastes. The goal would be to build their confidence in the kitchen and make cooking a fun and enjoyable experience. Knowing how to cook can have a significant impact on someone's life. It promotes healthy eating habits as you have control over what you eat. It can also save money, as cooking at home is often cheaper than eating out. Furthermore, cooking can be a creative outlet and a source of enjoyment. It can also be a way to connect with family and friends, as sharing a home cooked meal can be a very special experience. Overall, cooking is a valuable life skill that can contribute to a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life.
I distinctly remember a time I received positive feedback that truly boosted my confidence. It was during my first year at my current company, where I had been assigned a particularly challenging project. I had dedicated myself to the project, investing long hours and striving to make a meaningful contribution to the team. The feedback came during my annual performance review. My manager invited me into his office, and to my surprise, he began by expressing his sincere appreciation for my work on the project. He specifically highlighted my problem solving abilities, my capacity for independent work, and my willingness to embrace new challenges. He also commended my positive attitude and the way I contributed to a healthy team spirit. Hearing those words of encouragement from my manager was incredibly gratifying. It made me feel valued and recognized for my efforts. It was a powerful affirmation that my hard work and dedication had not gone unnoticed. The positive feedback significantly boosted my confidence and motivated me to continue striving for excellence. It also validated my decision to join the company and pursue a career in this field. Positive feedback, especially from someone you respect and admire, can be incredibly impactful. It reinforces your strengths, encourages you to continue learning and growing, and strengthens your commitment to your work. It was a truly uplifting experience to know that my contributions were appreciated and that I was making a positive impact on the team. This experience fueled my enthusiasm for my work and solidified my commitment to my career path. It was a reminder that hard work and dedication do pay off, and that positive reinforcement can be a powerful motivator.
I remember a time I had to stay awake even though I was incredibly sleepy. It was during my final year of university, and I had a crucial exam the next morning. I had studied hard for weeks, but the night before the exam, I realized I still had a few chapters to revise. I knew I couldn't go to sleep without going over them, as they were important topics. I was at home, in my study room. It was late, probably around 2 a.m. I was sitting at my desk, surrounded by books and notes, and I could barely keep my eyes open. I was exhausted, both mentally and physically, but the thought of the exam kept me going. I had to stay awake because I knew that those last minute revisions could make a difference in my performance. I didn't want to leave any stone unturned, especially for such an important exam. I had put in so much effort already, and I wanted to give myself the best possible chance of success. It was a real struggle. I drank several cups of coffee, splashed cold water on my face, and even walked around the room to try and stay alert. I took short breaks to stretch and clear my head, but the sleepiness kept creeping back. It was a long and tiring night, and I felt like I was running on fumes, but I managed to stay awake and go through my notes. The next morning, I was definitely tired during the exam, but I felt more confident knowing I had done everything I could to prepare. It taught me the importance of perseverance and how crucial it is to prioritize even when you're exhausted. While I wouldn't recommend pulling all nighters regularly, this experience showed me that I could push myself when I really needed to.
I distinctly remember a time I arrived far too early for an event. It was a friend's wedding reception, a grand celebration I was eagerly anticipating. The venue was a spacious banquet hall located on the outskirts of Delhi, requiring a considerable drive. Being a close friend's wedding, I was determined to be punctual. However, I underestimated the travel time and, coupled with my tendency to be over punctual, I found myself arriving almost an hour before the scheduled start time. I've always believed it's better to be early than late, especially for important occasions. Upon my arrival, the banquet hall was eerily quiet. Only a few staff members were present, busily setting up decorations and arranging furniture. The guests hadn't started arriving, and the music hadn't begun. It felt strange to see the usually vibrant hall so empty and silent, knowing it would soon be filled with joyous celebration. Initially, I felt a bit awkward and out of place. Unsure of how to occupy myself, I wandered around, observing the ongoing preparations. I felt a bit like an intruder, witnessing the behind the scenes work. Eventually, I settled in the lobby area, using the time to catch up on messages and simply observe the activity as other early guests gradually arrived. The experience was quite different from my usual rushed arrivals. In a way, it was pleasant to have some quiet moments to myself before the festivities began. It allowed me to mentally prepare for the celebration and appreciate the calm before the storm. While the initial awkwardness was undeniable, arriving early wasn't as unpleasant as I had imagined. It taught me that sometimes a little extra time can provide a unique perspective and a moment of unexpected tranquility.
I vividly recall an instance of someone talking loudly on his phone. I was on a packed Mumbai local train during evening rush hour, returning home after a long day at work. The train was overflowing with commuters, all eager to reach their destinations. Near the doorway, a young man, probably in his early 20s, was engaged in a loud phone conversation. His voice easily carried throughout the entire compartment, disrupting the already chaotic atmosphere. It was clearly a personal call, and he seemed oblivious to the dozens of people around him. He was speaking at an elevated volume, perhaps because of the train's inherent noise. Mumbai locals are notoriously loud, with the rattling of the train, the chatter of vendors, and the general hubbub of a crowded space. It's possible he was trying to overcome this noise to be heard by the person on the other end, or perhaps he was simply engrossed in his conversation, unaware of how his volume was affecting those around him. I found his loud conversation quite irritating. Exhausted from work, I craved a moment of peace to unwind and perhaps listen to music. However, his phone call made relaxation impossible. It wasn't just the sheer volume of his voice. The content of his conversation was also quite personal, making me feel like an unwilling eavesdropper. I noticed other passengers also seemed uncomfortable. Some exchanged annoyed glances, while others subtly tried to signal him to lower his voice. It felt inconsiderate, especially in such a confined public space where everyone was already physically close. It added another layer of stress to an already taxing commute, making the journey home even more unpleasant. It was a reminder of how a lack of consideration for others can negatively impact a shared environment.
I vividly remember a time I felt intensely anxious. It was just before my final year university exams, a period of immense pressure as these exams would significantly influence my future. I was particularly anxious about the mathematics paper, a subject I sometimes found challenging. I was at home, in my bedroom, attempting to study. My parents were present, offering occasional words of encouragement, but I was mostly alone with my textbooks and notes spread across my desk. Despite the quiet environment, concentrating was incredibly difficult. My anxiety stemmed from the immense pressure to perform well. I felt the weight of my parents' expectations, coupled with my own aspirations. The fear of underperforming and disappointing myself and my family loomed large. The thought of failing or not achieving the necessary grades constantly plagued my mind. I also felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of material to revise. Time seemed to be slipping away too quickly. The experience was unsettling. I was restless and struggled to sleep. My heart raced, and I constantly felt butterflies in my stomach. My appetite vanished, and even focusing on my studies became a challenge as my thoughts drifted to potential negative outcomes. I tried to manage my anxiety by taking regular breaks, listening to calming music, and talking to my parents about my worries. These strategies offered some relief, helping me to cope and navigate that stressful period. It taught me valuable lessons about managing pressure, the importance of a strong support system, and the need to find healthy coping mechanisms during challenging times. While the anxiety didn't vanish entirely, I learned how to manage it and persevere.